Alright, so we have our first object or pathway that I'm going to make is from here to here. And this probably shouldn't take too many frames. So we want to, let's just start with 10 and see where we get. I'm going to click on this object, click motion tween, and then I'm on the 10th frame, so I'm going to drag it down to here. What I do want to do is to see if I can ease this. So if you remember from easing, it's where the object kind of started slow. That's a little off. Let me zoom in a little bit, get a better look. Okay. Trying to get this lined up.
No.
Okay, go to the next frame. If you hold down shift, it should be able to just go up. Kind of like snaps it more. Trying to figure out why this seems to be. That'll work. Alright, next frame. Alright. Play to just kind of I like it. Seems like it has a little bit of weight. Also, what I'm going to do is mess with my transform. So window, transform. I want to rotate. Okay. And then go to the next frame. Let's go a little bit more than that. So that when we rotate, it looks like it's spinning. Okay, so just keep going with this. And I'm just kind of throwing in arbitrary numbers here. Obviously, if you wanted to have the same speed on your rotation, you would, keep the same numbers, but I'm just showing you what it would look like. All right, so here where their impact. So here's where we're also going to have squash and stretch, however. And we have to kind of play around with this now. I'm going to make this easy. Rotate it 90. Now these are actually flipped. Okay. So when it says my up and down axis, my y-axis, it's actually going to constrict left to right because I've rotated it. So if I want it to be more squashed, not 70, let's go 110. Okay, and then drag it down to hit. Let me actually go into this and move it over a little bit. Alright, I'm going to lock this layer. Alright, so here, boom. Okay, now my next, is going to go to probably about here. And so I want to make it go there. And then we need to go back and do our rotations, because obviously our squash and stretch is going to change. Let's see, it seems to have messed with the squash and stretch for the rest of the objects. So yeah, it's automatically kind of changing it. You can just manually go back and adjust. I'm gonna mess with that a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go here, and from here to here, we're obviously going to rotate some, but I'm going to squash and stretch the other way a little bit. Let's see, go 80. 20. See, I did not account for that, so it's 126. Okay, so then it's bringing. I need to fix that motion right there. Let me unlock. To this layer, just back over. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to be making it hit here, and then having it bounce. Here somewhere, but I'm obviously going to want to make this curved, and then here have this bounce lower that because obviously we don't want that. And then just kind of move it off screen. So if we just play it with what we have so far, okay, so we can see squash and stretch, change directions. So all I need to go through now and do is play with my squash and stretch on these impact points, and then mess with the rotation and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do with mine. You need to go ahead and create something similar where you have your ball hit another object to change its direction. So instead of just bouncing up and down, I hit this little platform here and it springs it this way towards the wall, and then the wall changes its direction. That would actually be a little more accurate. So do something like that. Make sure everything's fleshed and finished out, and then export it, file, export, video media, and then let your media encoder open up. Shouldn't take too long if you're only doing 2 seconds. So here's the media encoder. It'll show up here. Whenever it's done, there's where your file is. Okay, yours will obviously say something different, but obviously make sure you give it a name as well, and then you can turn in this file.